Oh hey y'all! Today is a planter video and I'm gonna start off with this Anthurium. Oh my gosh, she's finally hardened off. So odd. I don't know, I think it's odd because the leaves are like straight here. I mean, it could change. I have no idea. Anthurium Crystallinum crossed with Magnificum crossed with Luxurians. Look at her. So, I was waiting for this leaf to harden off. Then I was gonna repot. Oh my god, oh! Then I was gonna repot her because the roots have grown out of the pot here. Unfortunately, I am gonna have to break a lot of them, but it's okay. Even superficially, I can see roots, like there's one just here, right there. Oh my god, pollen is already falling. We just began. And when it comes to anthuriums and repotting, I normally don't like repotting often, but every time I do see more aerial roots up there, I always like submerging them into pond. Another strategy that I've used is putting moss, but because she needs to be repotted anyways, we're just gonna do it. I thought there wasn't a new leaf coming, but there is already a new leaf coming. It's odd because this one is just hardening off right over there. So I don't know if it's gonna survive. I don't know if like the shock of it is gonna like ruin it. And okay, I'm gonna move it into this planter. We're gonna stick with pond because it's actually the only substrate I have now. Out of moss, out of LECA. And so let's just put this together. How's everyone doing? I want to thank everyone for watching my Hoya videos. I just love how I went back and forth. I was like, oh, it's gonna be one video. Oh, maybe two. And then when I looked at the actual footage, I was like, I think I'm gonna do 3 separate videos, which is fine. I hope y'all enjoyed Hoya week. So the planter is made here. Always sad, you know, breaking these roots. But a lot of the time you don't have a choice, unfortunately. Ooh. Okay, let's take a look. I can see so many roots already. I don't know if y'all can see, but there's so many roots. They look so good. Okay, so we did lose a few, that's okay. So that's all gone, just fantastic. Look at this. We're gonna submerge these aerial roots into the pond just so they root and build that root system even more. But wow, this is fantastic. Majority of the time I do tend to cut the oldest leaf. So in this case, it would be this one, just because when you're looking at submerging everything, sometimes it gets in the way, especially if the pot diameter is too wide. So we're just gonna cut her. Goodbye and thank you. I guess because the pond was dry, it just like fell out of the spaces so easily. Like I'd even like manipulate anything. And so maybe I'll just try to sprinkle it through here. Okay, so I tried to push it down as much as possible. You can see that once the stem grows more and there's more aerial roots, I can just add more pond, cover those, and then there will obviously become a time where I need to cover the stem with moss. And so, look at this beauty. Yay. Yay guys, look at her. I am just gonna water her with plain water, just to the maximum. Okay, I'm back. I just came back from the bedroom. I'm a fool. I even put the stopper at the bottom. So there's some water spilling and I was like, where's this coming from? So they come with these stoppers. There's a hole at the bottom. Oh my gosh. Okay, next Anthurium. Anthurium Zara F2 crossed with Michelle F3. Just beautiful. Just trying to compare. What was that sound? Did you hear that? There aren't any roots sitting in the reservoir. However, I do this thing during this time, so October, November, where if I know a plant is gonna go off, I try to repot them now before the winter hits. My plants are fine during the winter, but I don't prefer repotting plants during the winter. I know I'm gonna do it anyways, but just doing it early so they can take in the remainder of like the sunny days, the warmer temperatures. And so I'm gonna do the same thing and put it in one of these planters. I'm actually so interested to see how this one grows. This specimen was from seed. I can already tell that this one has more red tones than purple. and it's not as strong when the leaf hardens off. There are some specimens that are just so stunning. Hopefully in the future I'll get my hands on one. And I think that's one thing why I'm so interested in anthuriums, especially hybrids. They will look so different from one another, and the different variations that you could get. You can see that she's already been latching on to the planter. Wonderful. Ooh, oh my god, the leaf is pulling, y'all. I didn't mention this with the previous anthurium, but just making sure that you don't see anything weird, like any root death. Really assessing those roots. You can see that they're nice and white or nice and pink. This is actually the perfect time. She's not pushing out any leaves. The leaf is hardened off, and I didn't have to break any roots in the process. And so let me dig this hole, and we're just gonna cut the oldest leaf. She was going anyways, and that's okay. And same as the last one, just leaving enough space while also covering a lot of the stem. So once it grows, you can just cover it with more pon, and then obviously eventually some spag. I don't think I show the backs of the leaves that much. A little bit of red tones, but just so beautiful. It looks so good, everyone. Okay, some tap water. When was the last time I fed this? I think we're just gonna do water. I usually lightly fertilize every month if they're living in pon, roughly like a third diluted nutrient solution. I'm trying my best to, with my velvet leaf anthuriums, I'm trying to flush them like every 2 to 3 months by taking the stopper out and just running tap water over it. I never used to do it before, and my anthuriums have been generally fine, but I'm gonna end up doing them because I'm just like scared. I don't want to cut corners when it comes to like special plants like this one. Okay, I just have my, oh gosh, it's dead. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, I just have my microscope here. I'm just gonna look at my beneficial sachets. The only sachets that I have, these are the cucumeris, and it's used as a preventative for spider mites and thrips. They claim to, you know, focus on other mites too, like broad mites. But I think it's been 4 to 5 weeks since I've, you know, put these on my plants. What you should do, check and assess to see if they're actually still alive. So it's good to check to see if there's actually, you know, stuff going on. So I just cut it open, and I'm just gonna look. So that's the pile right there, and just taking a look. So obviously in these sachets there's, you know, feed, young forms of that beneficial, and I don't see any, I don't see any movement. Just cutting open another one. I like to do multiple checks. I pull these sachets from different parts in the room because I've said before, there's some parts where it's more humid, and sometimes when you have low humidity, even though it's in a sachet, it can really dry this up. Yeah, see, look. Right there. Yeah, this one has a few more because the other one didn't have any. Yeah, look. I do this a lot every time. I mean, you should do this, but I want to say usually past the 4-week mark, I don't see anything. So like the first sachet, it's kind of what I expected, but the second one, they're still alive. So I guess I'll wait another week before I buy more. And if y'all are wondering, I have this general rule where when I get these sachets, I cut like 4 of them open to make sure that, you know, that the bugs are lively, and y'all should do that as well. And all 4 had lively bugs, just so you could keep on top of buying new ones. Because pests, again, even though you do all this stuff, they are sneaky buggers. So maybe I'm just gonna dump this on like my strawberry shakes, so there are still ones that are alive. I do want to stress also, because I think a lot of people don't know this, there are certain bugs that are catered to be more aggressive to pests than others, and obviously it's different with each pest. I currently don't have any pests, no thrips, no spider mites, no broad mites, but you should always just take precaution and just have a preventative because you never know. Cucumeris, they're not aggressive enough to spider mites or thrips, and I think they only tackle one stage. Whereas more aggressive bugs, Persimilis for spider mites, they can only survive on a diet of spider mites. So they are very aggressive and they can walk through webs and they can eat spider mites at any stage. For thrips, I only have experience with Oris. I hear lacewings are good too, also known as pirate bugs. So aggressive to thrips. Can eat them at multiple stages and they will go and search for them. Like they will find them in the nooks and crannies in the plant tissue. I have used both of them with success. And okay, moving on. I have my Anthurium Magnificum crossed with Luxurians. So here she is. I'm gonna flush her. I'm gonna say what I was saying when it comes to these planters because I think it's been a couple months since I flushed this plant. I'm not overly concerned about non-velvet leaf anthuriums when it comes to flushing as much as velvet leaf anthuriums because it really shows in the foliage. But just knowing that this leaf got stuck while she was unfurling. It's hard to explain. When you look at a new leaf unfurling, you could kind of see a weakening. I don't know, it's so hard to explain. I'm gonna flush it. Run water slowly over. And I'm trying to just water over the entire substrate. Oh no, oh, y'all can't even see anything. Hold on. You see it flowing, so we're gonna continue. And it's difficult because these pots, they only have that one hole at the bottom. This would obviously be easier if it was a planter that had a net pot in it or just a nursery pot. And I'm just gonna cut this leaf. I also cut leaves because y'all know that my room, plants are touching each other. They're up against each other. So when you have multiple leaves, sometimes when you're taking a plant out, the petiole is like latched on to the other plant and then you pull them off and they fall. It's this whole issue. Okay. And then I always like doing a second one. Also, do y'all remember this? Oh my gosh, remember. I found it when I was looking for my microscope. I haven't done this in like a year. Oh my god, it's so handy, look. Okay, maybe I'll keep wearing this in case I need to chop anything. Boom, boom, boom. You can see that there's a lot of aerial roots. So I know the pot is full to the top, but I just want to cover this bunch on this side. Some on this side. Make sure it's all wet. Perfect. And we'll put her back. This is turning into an anthurium video, but I'm just noticing just things. I feel bad. Okay, so you can see this anthurium is so dehydrated. So this is one of my Anthurium Ace of Spades Tezula dark form crossed with Magnificum. She is so dry. She's in one of these cups. There are some aerial roots that aren't covered, so we're gonna cover them. I don't have high hopes for this new leaf because like the whole plant is just so dry, but I want to put into a big pot. You can see some roots even though the pond is extremely dry. I don't usually like advise doing this when a plant's dehydrated. Okay, I think that should be fine. So here she is. And I'm just gonna put plain water, fill up the reservoir to the top. Okay, I wanna talk about my strawberry shakes in an aerate mix. I don't use these planters often anymore, but they're these, I guess they're clear orchid planters. I think, is it the 3-inch? But what I'm doing, because I'm doing a poor job at keeping these plants watered. This one's so pretty. Look at this new leaf. She's gonna look so good. And like, this is a great specimen. Look at the evenness in all the leaves here. I am so impressed by that. So I've just been trying to put nutrient solution in the bin and then have them suck up the nutrient solution from the holes at the bottom. They are at a point where they're extremely dry. But let's see if there's like another one I can show you. This one's pretty good, but I mean, the leaf is looking kind of stuck. So that's one of the newer leaves. That's getting stuck here. And yeah, so that one looks pretty good. I do think a big thing, keeping on top of the waterings of your strawberry shakes, it will help. As I say this, there's a stuck one. This one isn't that bad though. It will help with leaves getting stuck. like that. And that's why it's so important to have strawberry shakes if it's in an arid mix, for it to be like super chunky. I have found, at least, when I have my strawberry shakes in pon or LECA, I don't usually see that issue as much, but the ones that have been living in moss and arid mix, it's been an issue if I forget a watering. So that's why I'm starting to keep a reservoir in the form of like putting enough nutrient solution in this bin. And also I'm starting to feed them nutrient solution often because they've been in this chunky mix for 2 years now. I want to say 2 years. It's just bark. At this point, it's just bark, perlite, and pumice. And I guess some charcoal. There's like not enough nutrients, so I'm feeding them constantly. One of the only plants that are still in arid mixes, I have one Thai constellation, my Glorious and my Melanochrysum. Those are the only ones I have in arid mixes. And I feel like I'm going on, so I'm just gonna grab some nutrient solution. I have my bin right here, y'all. And just making sure all the, this one's pretty too. I'm just making, look at this. See, if this was like a newer arid mix that had all the good things, I forgot that worm castings also was part of this mix, but like 2 years, it's gone. It's been used. I wouldn't be feeding it as often. I'm using my full strength just because I know the components in this mix. And again, because I know I showed this in my Philodendron video, but if you missed it, watch it, first of all. But also, I did this in that video, and I'm just keeping a layer. I know bottom watering, it really gets a bad rap just because the action of you watering a plant from the top ensures that the unnecessary salts get flushed out of the planter. I just think it kind of depends on like what kind of plant parent you are. This is a way that I kind of make sure that these plants won't die. And until I see anything bad with the foliage, I'm not gonna like investigate or change what I was doing. Any opportunity to show off this strawberry shake, the sachet. I'm showing this because she's beautiful, first of all. It was quite a while ago, I want to say maybe a year ago, that I took propagations, or were they propagations in moss, and then I put them in this planter of pon. There's 6 in here. Strawberry shakes take a while. If they don't have that robust root system. I'm currently giving this one medium to bright indirect light. I think it would be more pink if I was giving it bright indirect light. I'm showing you this because I think I'm going to do the same thing with these water propagations that I completely forgot about. And I'm not going to bother with a moss pole right now just because I don't know which ones are going to be variegated. If I knew that this one's going to be predominantly or like 100% rate of like amazing variegated plants, I would have put a moss pole. But yeah, I don't know what those ones are going to look like, so we're just going to shove them all in one planter. Okay. See, this is the one that was on the surface, so that one aerial root. Look at this leaf. I'm not gonna go through one by one. I'll just grab the bunch here and just show you all the roots. These are the leaves, and I'm gonna try our best to to fit all of them, including the small ones.
Oh gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna fit them all.
Okay, the second one. I feel like it's been a shorter period of time, but here are the roots, and they're pretty balanced. I know this is a lot. I am factoring in the ones that won't push out variegation, you know, potentially some casualties. And after seeing that planter, I just kind of want to replicate it to the best of my abilities. I know I can't control if these ones are going to push out tons of variegation or even variegation, but I'm gonna be optimistic. Okay, how am I gonna get the pon? We're just gonna try our best. Okay, she looks hilarious. And then there's some longer, more mature mother leaves here. Every time you do this, just keep in mind where the aerial roots are, and just when it comes to water propagations, keeping the water level pretty high. I know these aren't Hoyas, so maybe don't go too extreme, but knowing that they're about here, I'm gonna try my best to fill up the water line up to here. At this point, we're turning under grow light. So, not gonna lie, I forgot oh my god, I forgot about this plant. This is sad. My Anthurium Moodeanum, the propagation. So my strawberry shakes, the ones that I just potted up, they lived very close to this one. And so all the leaves were kind of like all together under the grow light. I did not notice. I found this like this. It wasn't even in, and you can see that it's been like that for a while. There is still like a nice root. It's hard to see, but knowing these roots, they're usually red or pink, and that one feels decent. Like the ends are definitely dry, and I'm definitely gonna cut them. And I've done this before with my Moodeanum. See, yeah, everything is like dead. Where, you know, the roots don't look good, and you just kind of have to start from the beginning. And actually, feeling this part, it's like super dead. Super dead. So I'm just grabbing my shears, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to cut it and assess to see how it's doing, because there is a chance. No, it's still healthy. Look at that. So at this point, water propagating it is the best decision. That's how my big one survived. So gosh, you can see how floppy this is. So I'm just gonna try to rehydrate it by putting in water, just like that. And then, oh my gosh, I feel bad. My big one's doing well though, but I feel bad. So stick it under grow light, blast it, and keep your fingers crossed for this one. We're now going through the forgotten plants. Syngonium pink splash. Can someone confirm this? And I feel like it's just me. Unless the pink splash has a big, robust root system, it doesn't do anything for me. So I'm really hoping, and I mean, it's kind of promising even though this top part is pushing out these small little leaves. She's been in water though, so it's understandable. Look at that. And the rootage looks fantastic. I'm gonna do pawn. Sense the hesitation. Some of these aren't even rooted at all. I don't know. I think I'm just cursed when it comes to this plant, because okay, there's a small one here. I thought this one wasn't rooted, but look. And then this one, just fantastic. It's this leaf. And then I think there's one left, which doesn't, it's so weird. Don't you think this is weird? How? There's nothing. I'm cursed. Okay, at this point, can't wait anymore. This time we're using this self-watering planter, and I'm not gonna put a moss pole yet. I do want to grow her up a moss pole. We're just gonna have to wait to see if these survive. There's a chance, everyone, that the strawberry shakes, we're just covering them all. And maybe that's why half of them don't have roots. But here she is. Okay, two more things. Alocasia golden bone. So these were corms, I think. So they don't look the greatest right now. Y'all know that when they're a little more juvenile, they look like this. What I like seeing is the roots on these. Look at that. Just beautiful. There's some more. Oop, there's some more. Starting out these plants in these cups was a good idea. However, now that they have roots, and this one too has just one there, just so I don't forget about them, I need to put them in a self-watering planter with an indicator so I don't forget about them. Again, this is just something that's specific to me, method I do so I don't forget about my plants. I always, oh my gosh. Ooh. I always need a visual when I'm caring for my plants, whether that's an indicator showing you if your plant's reservoir is gone. But I mean, so many other people, I guess they're just more dedicated than I am when it comes to these plants, that they're just constantly checking on them. Oh my god, look at these. Okay, so that's the corm. Look at these little corms. They're not ready yet, obviously, but wow. I can't wait. corm. I almost thought that was a piece of bark. So the corm and then all the roots over here.
We are on the island of misfit toys.
Alrighty. I can't wait. I can't wait. Alocasias, they're very thirsty, but their roots do need to breathe. So I've had luck with my big one that lives in LECA, but once the root's in the reservoir, they like can't last long term sitting in the water. So I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on this one. Once the roots grow into the reservoir, I usually just cut them now. Okay guys, I guess that's it. I'm kind of scrambling to like repot plants that need to be repotted. I know I had to do that before I was rearranging my plant room, but now it's like, let's scramble with the ones that weren't ready to be repotted at that time in September, just so they have a little bit of time to root for the remainder of the fall, because winter, things are a bit slower. They're still growing, but it's a bit slower in that room. I think I'm gonna do a video on Wednesday for Wax Plant Wednesday. It's just gonna be a Hoya like chore video probably, but I do want to thank everyone for sticking around. Again, I have a Patreon, so I want to thank everyone in my Strawberry Shake tier and my LECA Drop tier, but a very special thanks to those in my Monstera Burley Marks Flame tier: Ryan Jones, Marnie McCallum, Gerda, Janice Upton, Francesco, Margot T, Remy Pabila, Lisa Mata, Shayna Nelson, Crystal, Casey Gross, Daniel Wilcox, Sam Pennypacker, Blaine B, Carlos Holling, Gina Alexandra, Coralyn Walters, Dor McCroy, Rocio Ramos, Kendra Prum, Stephanie McGinnis, Soda Rax, Danny Alley, Alicia D, Courtney Evans, Simone, Kiki in the Garden, Artie, North Lou, Benjamin Fraley, Sammy Vertanen, and Manny. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the very end, thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!